Welcome to SBRtv. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the NFL Week 3 Experts Roundtable show that we do every week previewing the NFL upcoming card. Today we have with us, again, Scott Kellen from SixCentSports.com and SBR contributor John Ryan. Thanks, guys, for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, the first game I want to talk about is I want to ask, it's a game that I want to bring up, and I want to ask you guys if you agree with the play that I like or if you want to try to talk me out of it, and that's Carolina. Carolina, right now they're minus 3.5, but I think you can buy down to a 3 pretty cheaply in some places. Looking at this game, Cam Newton playing really, really well, of course. He's going to be inconsistent, but he's obviously, adjusted the NFL very well. They only lost by 7 to awesome Green Bay last week. Now they're playing Jacksonville. Blaine Gabbert's going to be starting for Jacksonville, and he'll probably be, maybe he'll be a great NFL quarterback, but, he hasn't proven himself yet. Jacksonville has problems. They're thin at receiver. They've got some injuries there. I'm thinking of maybe going on the money line with it, though. Scott Kellen, what do you have to say about that line?
I kind of like Jacksonville, actually.
You do? Okay. Tell me why.
Although, with the caveat that obviously Cam Newton has looked fantastic for the most part. I mean, he threw a bunch of interceptions last week, but the guy certainly has talent and can take over a game. But, when you look at Carolina, their passing offense has obviously been very good this year. They're averaging 8.9 yards a pass against a couple of teams that are giving up 7.9, so they're well above average. But defensively, they have not been very good. They're giving up 9.8 yards a pass against a couple teams that are averaging 8.6 yards a pass. Overall, in defense, they're giving up 7.7 yards a play against a couple teams that are averaging 7 yards a play, so they're well below average defensively. They just lost Thomas Davis, their linebacker, last week. Week before, they lost John Beeson, a linebacker. And so you're bringing in a team like Jacksonville who actually can run the ball pretty well. And, as we saw against Tennessee in Week 1, if Jacksonville gets their running game going and controls the ball for 40 minutes, they can make Cam Newton a little less important than he would be in many other games. So, and Jacksonville actually qualifies in a couple situations for him here. One's a 164, 96, and 5 situation, and actually plays on teams coming off road losses like they did last week. And they also qualify in a couple of fundamental rushing situations as well. I make the number about a half. I think Carolina should be favored by about a half point. So I think there's some value at Jacksonville. Blaine Gabbert obviously is a huge question mark. He looked okay, I guess. At least his numbers were okay for the short time that he played last week. But who knows what you're going to get there. But if they can run the ball against the Carolina defense that's not very good, that's missing a couple key linebackers, and really control the clock, they can take a lot of that away from Carolina. And Carolina certainly does not have a real great defense. So the ability of Jacksonville to have that chance to run the ball is certainly there, and then it's just a matter if they can actually execute that or not.
All right. Okay, I'll lay off. John Ryan, what do you think about this game?
Well, I have to go against you, Peter, also.
Okay.
I liked Scott's analysis there. This is Week 3 now. Cam Newton's had 2 tremendous offensive games, but there's a little thing called scouts, and they sit in the stands and they review film and hour after hour after hour. And if there's a team that has a defensive mindset that would be able to shut down Cam Newton, it has to be Jacksonville. Another thing I've noticed is the betting flows so far this week. The public is all over Carolina.
Right.
In fact, they are all over Carolina to the magnitude of the game last week where the Titans upset Baltimore, and the public was all over Baltimore in that game. And I think this could be a similar result. I have a pretty nice system to share here, too. It's gone 27-4, 87% winners over the last 10 years. It's a perfect 5-0 over the last 3 seasons, and it's very simple. You're going to play against home teams that are off a cover where the team lost as an underdog facing an opponent off a road loss. What's more impressive even than the 87% is that 19 of these plays, so 19 of the 31 plays, or 63% of them, covered the spread by 7 or more points. So with Jacksonville getting 3.5, and this system saying there's a 63% chance of Jacksonville covering the spread by 7, it points me in the direction of making a money line play on Jacksonville.
All right. Well, I guess you convinced me. 2 elitist experts like Jacksonville, and 1 Joe Six-Pack public square like Carolina. So take that for what it's worth.